If you like Brussels sprouts boiled, I don't know, you're weird to me. Why was I being taught in high school to eat 1,200 calories when that's enough for a toddler? You're not supposed to lose weight every single day. Your body actually fights you. Your body might be so weak that when you drop to the ground, your bones break. Like there are some times where I look at photos and I'm like, holy shit, my arms are huge. Bitch, what the fuck you mean your arms are huge? But if I were to, before you have sex, have some beets. So that's why you might be going to the gym and you're wondering, why aren't you seeing results? You're finding more freedom for you. You're not supposed to make the gym your whole lifestyle. If you've never tried something, you won't realize how hard it is to do something on your own. And I'm going to give you 8 things that I've learned through my fitness, through health, through nutrition that I wish that I knew when I first started. And it's not going to be like the most baseline things. I'm going to go into as much details as I possibly can without making this 30 minutes. The first thing I would say is that you need to do this on your own. You need to start figuring things out and go through those ups and downs, because eventually you're going to learn that you'll actually need help. And that's going to be number 2, but let's talk about number 1 first. You need to know deep down inside that you need a change. Somebody else can't do that for you, because right now you have been going through the same habits that's leading you to the same place over and over again. And you keep wondering why week after week, month after month, year after year, you're in the same place. You need to want that change in yourself, and you need to start doing things for yourself, by yourself, until you realize that you need someone to come and help you. Because if somebody comes and tries to support you, even they could be the best person for you, but because you haven't realized that within yourself, that person is not going to be able to help you. No matter how great that plan is, no matter how much they want to be there with you, you need to know for your own self that you want this. So that's why I say you need to start on your own and go through some trial and error, because that's what I did. I started and I didn't tell anybody, and then people started seeing results, and that's when people started asking me questions. Now, I can understand that you will get to places much faster when you find somebody else to be able to support you that knows what they're doing. All I'm saying is that you need to get some reps in before that person that can support you, so that you can appreciate that help a lot more. If you've never tried something, you won't realize how hard it is to do something on your own. So that's why number 1 is you got to do it on your own and realize you need somebody else, which will be number 2. Find somebody that will mentor you, that will support you. You could find somebody for free, but realistically, the people that are going to best help you are going to be the ones that you invest in. And I think that's going to be number 3 for me, honestly, is to actually invest in yourself, invest in your health. Because down the road, I promise you it's going to be a lot more expensive. Right now, you might not be seeing the burden when it comes to not starting, when it comes to seeing that fitness coach, that trainer, that person that you know is going to help you, but you don't want to put that money towards you. But you must invest in yourself. You need to find somebody that you can trust. And I think that would be number 4, is follow people that actually give value. Don't just follow people that show their abs. When I tell you, I know that I am somebody when it comes to just how I look and can be like a beacon of health, a beacon of what someone wants their body to look like. I actually try my best not to utilize that. And I would prefer for everyone to come to my page for the information, for the knowledge. It's not an ego thing. It could be an ego thing. This might be more of a limiting belief thing for me, to be honest, because realistically, I know if I show my body a little bit more, my page will explode a lot more as well too. But I know how easy it is for people to get drawn in by somebody's body because they look exactly how they would want their body to look. And so I would say my biggest thing that I learned was to not take advice from people that just look good, but by people that actually give absolute value. This is how you can determine if the value that they're giving makes sense. Do it. Do what they say and see how you feel and how that actually affects your life. If you do something that they say and you feel like complete shit about it, that's not the person for you. It's such a simple concept, but it's one that I follow. When it comes to my business, I will implement things I see on social media. And if I feel good about it, if I start seeing results and I can be consistent with it, and it's not just a gimmicky type of thing, and they're being honest and I can see their vulnerability, I will continue to follow them and I will have them in mind as soon as I know that I'm ready to invest into something. So when it comes to health and fitness, don't just look at pages for their aesthetics. Look at the value value that they're giving out. And the sad truth is, the ones that are giving out the most value don't have the largest following majority of the time, because we tend to focus more on how that person looks than what they're actually saying. And I've seen so many, I've seen so many people, so many trainers that are posting, and I'm like, yo, those are some serious ChatGPT scripts. They're not even taking out the dashes. I'm saying all this stuff, but I at the end of the day, they've been able to create that community. This is not a space or a place to hate on people. This is me just acknowledging what I see and being able to help guide you through the internet, through social media channels, knowing to find the true value. And true value means it's actually helping you, not just forcing you to continue to scroll. Okay? So this is number 5. Oh my dear God. It is the form over the weights. It is the form over the weights every single time. I have been in 2 serious accidents, okay? My first one was in high school, where I was sitting in the passenger seat and we got T-boned badly, as in I passed out. I woke up to smoke, a baby crying in the back, and I got terrible whiplash, as in like my back would start hurting, my shoulders would tie into that pain, then my neck would start hurting, and then I would get massive migraines every other day. I would get dizzy. My memory was terrible, okay? So when I tell you my body was in pain for a very long period of my life, I thought that I was never going to live a pain-free life, until I started telling myself something different. I would literally tell people, I'm like, guys, I'm gonna be in pain forever. And everyone's like, stop. And I'm like, you don't know how I feel. So once I started working out, I started doing some crazy shit. I started lifting a lot of weights because I wanted to build more muscle. Didn't want to build more of an upper body because I was scared to actually look more manlier. But now you probably have seen me do pull-ups, seen how built my back is, and I love it, which I'm proud of. We've come a very long way. But what I've come to realize, it's always going to be your form over the weights. For one reason, you won't hurt yourself and you won't wake up the next morning in pain. But secondly, you're going to see progress. You're going to build your ass a lot faster, I promise you. When you slow down your movement, you're going to feel when your muscles actually engage. When you try and rush through things, I think that's when we learn through high intensity movements, or like those boot camps, for example. We're always told we need to go from one exercise to the other, to the other, and to the other. We need to sweat like crazy in order to lose body fat, to lose our belly fat. That's not it. We just need to slow things down, control our body movements, control our weight, focus on bettering our form every single rep, every single set. And that's what's going to end up letting you see more progress way faster. So form over reps. Now, the other part is you gotta lift heavy. You can't be scared of getting bulky. I promise you, I've been lifting for 8 years and I haven't gotten the bodybuilder type. And I don't look like a man, okay? I definitely look muscular. Here's the thing. I think let me be very honest with you, okay? If I were to literally just like sit in a certain way, like flex my body, like I'm going to look very muscular, insanely muscular. But if I sit a certain way, if I cross my legs, I'm very feminine. I personally believe everybody has angles. When you build a lot of muscle and you stand like this, you're going to look bulkier. I'm probably not giving the best example, but you know what I mean. Like there are some times where I look at photos and I'm like, holy shit, my arms are huge. And then I look at my arms now, girl. I look at my arms now and I'm like, bitch, what the fuck you mean your arms are huge? But if I were to flex, or if I were to sit in a certain specific like direction, you'll probably be like, okay, yeah, she has large arms, but it's angles. And we all have bad angles. I'm not saying that that's a bad angle, but I hope you get exactly what I mean. Don't be scared to get bulky. When you start building more muscle, that's what tones, okay? That's when your arms look more defined. Your butt looks more defined, more nicer, more juicier. You start seeing your abs like coming out and everything as well too. You should not be scared of lifting weights, especially, by the way, it's not just about how you look. It's also going to be about the you 20, 30 years from now. Are you going to be able to get up from the ground without having to use lose your full body? Are you going to be able to take care of yourself? And when I say drop to the ground, I don't mean like, oh, you just drop and then you have to like get yourself back up. Your body might be so weak that when you drop to the ground, your bones break. And now you can no longer take care of yourself. So now you need your family members to be able to come and take care of you, because you might not even have saved enough to have a long-term care home or have a nurse tend to you every single day. And keep in mind, you might think, oh, my mom will be there. Maybe she might not be there. A little bit morbid, but think about it. You might have your sister, and if you don't have a sister, you might need your brother to actually clean you. And they might not clean you properly because they're just like, why do I have to do this? You might not even have someone to be able to do that. And then you end up being uncomfortable, and now you have to pay hospital bills. Building muscle is, yes, about looking the way you want to look, but it's also being able to have a life that you can have control over. Because once you start losing muscle, and you lose muscle the older that you get, the harder life becomes for you. Oh, let's talk about nutrition. I was gonna go into another movement part, but let's talk about nutrition. Carbs are not the enemy. You don't have to look at food as good or bad. When I tell you I would do meal preps and I would barely season my food, my mom disowned me at some point. I remember I would go into the kitchen and I would see her like sprinkling sprinkling season into my food, and I would be like, yo, excuse me, I always see these as memes of white people. Why are you doing this to me? I felt so ashamed, okay? But I would still continue to barely put seasoning in my food because I thought that was unhealthy. I thought that would make me gain weight. Here's one thing that I learned when it comes to your sodium, your salt intake. If you actually end up having just even a little bit more salt in your food, the scale is going to go up. If you have a little less salt, the scale is going to go down. So the determining factor, if you're actually building fat, not just seeing the scale go up and down, is not going to come from seasoning your food. And when you understand food a lot more, when you understand nutrition a lot more, you realize you can incorporate any food that you want. You just need to understand your overall calorie intake. And it's way more than what people tend to tell you in order to be able to first maintain your weight. I feel like that should be another point, but I'm going to tie into this one very quickly. You don't need to go straight into a deficit. You don't need to go straight to eating 1,200 calories. You actually need to first eat enough for what your body needs, and that's something called your maintenance calories. And you can actually see inches coming off while you're giving your body what it needs. You're able to eat pizza, you're able to eat burgers, you're able to eat rice, you're able to eat pasta, and still eat your vegetables. Keep in mind, when I'm saying this stuff, it doesn't mean I'm saying that you need to eat cookies for every single meal. I'm saying that you can just fit that into your lifestyle without having to cut it out, because every single time we try to do that, we end up going into a binge and restrict cycle. But nobody tells us that we can just eat those foods and just add more whole foods that we know that we should be incorporating. Like you and me both knew and both know that we need to add more vegetables to our plate. We know that. We're trying to force ourselves just to eat that vegetable or eat those vegetables. We also need the rice. We also need the carbs. Ever so often we need the pizza. We are allowed to eat out and we can still see results. But back to the maintenance aspect. You can eat enough to maintain your body and actually move and go to the gym and lift more weights, and you'll start seeing your bra hook on the last hook, for example. You'll start realizing that you're going down inches when it comes to even just secure pants size. Nobody tells you that. But when I learned that, I realized I didn't have to focus on losing weight all the time, because I can use weight loss in seasons, and I don't have to focus on losing weight every single day. And I know you might hear that and you're like, well, Krishna, you don't have a lot of weight to lose. You're absolutely right with that one. The other thing is though, you are no different when it comes to that process. You're not supposed to lose weight every single day. Your body actually fights you. That's why you end up going into that lose weight, gain weight cycle, because you keep trying to force it to do something that it doesn't want to. I'm not gonna go too much on this because I have bare videos and I can talk for a very long time. Eventually, you can focus on using a calorie deficit, which doesn't have to be 1,200 calories. You can be in a calorie deficit and eat over 2,000 calories. Can you just imagine and put together in your mind what you will be able to eat while you lose weight? That's what I teach women to do, because I learned that and that changed my whole entire life. You need to understand, I learned that I should be eating 1,200 calories in high school. Why was I being taught in high school to eat 1,200 calories when that's enough for a toddler? Anyways, next one. I think we're on number 6. This is very oddly specific for number 6, but don't boil your Brussels sprouts. That's nasty. If you like Brussels sprouts boiled, I don't know, you're weird to me. You're very weird. I love that for you, but not for me and most people. Put it in the oven, roast it. Add some balsamic vinaigrette. Add some little salt and pepper. It tastes good. It tastes so good. And the other part is too, season your vegetables. Eventually you'll get the taste of enjoying vegetables, but maybe if you're used to eating fast food, buying out often, you don't have the taste for it right away. So don't be scared to season it, and eventually you're going to start realizing that you can lessen the season. You can just, for example, steam your vegetables. It'll bring out like a little sweetness to it. I know you're hearing that right now and you're just like, how the hell are vegetables sweet? You will get to that point, I promise you. But for now, season your vegetables. Roast them rather than boil them. There are some vegetables that are good boiled. Like I can boil some peas and that will be nice. I don't think I boil a lot of my vegetables. Yeah, I use a steamer actually. There's this thing that I purchased a while back ago. It was from one of those MLM companies. It's like one of the only products I've actually kept for a very long time. I think I've had it for like 10 years and it goes into the microwave. It's a steamer that literally goes into the microwave. So I put, for example, beets. I am obsessed with beets. I think that's gonna be my other one. Eat your beets. Beets are amazing. Use that as a pre-workout. Also, before you have sex, have some beets. Thank me later. That's all I'm going to put on that topic. But with the steamer, you put the vegetables in, you add a little bit of water. You can add some salt if you'd like, but I would just normally just put the vegetables in there, put in the microwave for maybe 4 or 5 minutes, and you're good. Which goes into our next topic, meal prepping. You do not need to spend like 5 hours meal prepping. Personally, I take 2, maybe 3 hours, depending on the space and time that I have. I will meal prep 1 to 2 times per week, depending on what I'm meal prepping. What has worked with my schedule, which I think will be the next point, is to focus on your schedule and nobody else's. There are so many different things that you can do when it comes to like a 2-day-a-week workout, 3-day-a-week workout, 4-day-a-week workout. If you can fit 3 in, amazing. I'm gonna go back to the other point. I'm just saying this very quickly. If you can fit 3 workouts in, that's awesome because you can create workouts based off of that. If you have 4 days, you can be able to create workouts based off of that. If you have 2 days, that works as well too. Your 2 days might be actually a little bit longer than the 3 or 4 days because you have more space. Think about it like that. You can also have short 2-day workouts, of course, too, if you're just starting out, and eventually you can start building off of that. If you only have 2 days, that's okay. So back to the point of meal prepping. What I personally do that works for me is prepping 2 proteins, 2 to 3 carbs, and 2 to 3 vegetables. It sounds like a lot, but think about the different tools that you have. I've learned to use my air fryer, my stove, my on top of stove. Stove and oven. My stove and on top of stove. Yes, my oven, my stove, and then my microwave. So like I mentioned with the other thing, I would take that container, put in the microwave. That easily will make 2 different types of vegetables. My oven, honestly, I barely use the oven. If I have some sweet potatoes, I'll put the sweet potato in there. Then I will end up making more vegetables in the air fryer, or if I'm making salmon, for example, let's use that as 2 proteins. Salmon in the air fryer. Then I have curry chicken on the stove. Then I have asparagus in the oven and maybe another vegetable in the bottom of the air fryer. Then I'm boiling rice at the same time. I have become an elite meal prepper who can do these multiple things at the same time while I clean. And that's how I've been able to do meal preps in 2 hours, 3 hours, like max. And I personally strongly dislike filming. I've had so many people say, can you please film your meal prep? Can you please show us how you cook? That's like my me time. And I think that's gonna be the other topic. Find things that you enjoy doing and do them. On a health and fitness journey, you are also digging deep into yourself, your inner child. You're finding more freedom for you. You're not supposed to make the gym your whole lifestyle. You're not supposed to make food your whole lifestyle where you cannot operate without eating a cookie cutter meal plan. You need to be creating something that you can see yourself being able to do for the rest of your life. And it's a lot more fun when you incorporate journaling, coloring, dancing, I don't know, like maybe skateboarding if you like that, rollerblading, or some things, painting. You need to incorporate those hobbies into your life in order to make this something sustainable. If not, this starts becoming a chore. And that's going to be my other part. Romanticize your life. No matter if it's getting a workout set that looks nice on your skin. I just recently got this, by the way. It is so cute. Or it could be getting a water bottle that you actually enjoy drinking out of. Don't get a massive jug. You have to open the lid and then pour it like this to be able to drink water. I used to do that and I hated it. But I forced myself to do it because I'm like, I have like a 2-liter big thing. I'm gonna be able to drink it by the end of the day. And I never finished it. I would walk around with it and it was annoying as hell, And I never got to the bottom of it. I promise you, all those people that bring those water bottles around don't like their life. The people that do are able to be consistent with that. All glory to you. That is insane. And I think that you are amazing. But romanticize your life. Don't force yourself to do things. By the way, when it comes to your workout clothes, you can feel comfortable, confident in baggy clothes when you're at the gym. You do not have to be in a two-piece set. It's taken me a while to actually like two-piece sets. I have like my Inuyasha shirt and these baggy red shorts that I wear, and I love that. That's one of my favorite gym outfits. I will walk around confidently doing all my exercises. Like, look how cute my matching piece is with my anime shirt, you know? So find what works for you. It does not have to be a two-piece set. It does not have to be tight sports bra and tight leggings. It could be like your favorite sweatpants, your favorite baggy shorts, your favorite big shirt, and you feel comfortable and confident then. Outside of, if you're being coached by me, I'm gonna need to see a little bit more skin so I can make sure that I'm actually telling you exactly what you should do when it comes to your form, This is what I'm gonna leave you off with. Sleep, gal. You need it. If you woke up and you got like 3 or 4 hours of sleep, you're not going to the gym. You're going to focus on getting more sleep the next night. You're going to put your phone away. You're going to prioritize having a nighttime routine so that you wake up the next morning having at least 7 hours of sleep. Learning how impactful sleep is what has been a huge game changer. If you're not sleeping, you're not getting any results. That's it. Point blank, period. If you work out and you've barely slept and then you barely sleep again, your body does not have the room, the place to be able to recover from any of that. It's dealing with all the stuff that it's had to deal with the day before, the week before, the month before, the years before. So that's why you might be going to the gym and you're wondering, why aren't you seeing results? There can be multiple reasons, but we always got to start with sleep. Our sleep is what's going to help our body communicate with each other. Because when you're not sleeping enough, your brain is not able to, again, recover, get rid of all the things that it had to deal with for the past day, the past week, the past month. What happens is like your spinal fluid literally goes up and takes out all the trash from what you've experienced the day, the week, the months, the years before. But if you're not getting enough sleep over and over again, it's not able to do that. So you're left with a whole bunch of trash up here, and that stops your brain from being able to communicate with the rest of your body. That's why you struggle with being hungry, for example. That's why your hormones are out of whack, or you're struggling with your cycle. That's why you start having some heart palpitations, or your body feels weak because it's not communicating with its brain because you are not sleeping enough. You need to prioritize your sleep. I will literally turn, my phone goes on do not disturb at 9 p.m. My friends know that they are not going to contact me. And here's the thing, you might be thinking, oh my gosh, but what if something ends up happening? When was the last time your friends contacted you after 9 p.m. and it was an actual issue? An issue that didn't need to wait until tomorrow? Answer me. And here's the thing, when you have do not disturb on, if they call you twice, it goes through. So if it's a real emergency, you will hear from them. The majority of the time, you're usually on the phone at 9 p.m. with your friends, and you're going through some sort of drama that is now going to play over in your mind as you're lying down in bed trying to sleep. Or after you get off that phone conversation, you're now scrolling on the internet, just making a space for all the time that you missed because you were on the phone. And then again, you're in bed, tired, but wired because you never had a full nighttime routine. I'm telling you, sleep is going to be your biggest game changer. But those are probably more than 8 things because I was not counting. Just like if I were to train you in person, do not depend on me to count, okay? As soon as you're like, how many reps is that? I'm like, I always fall back at 7. You might have did 10 already. We're gonna do an extra 3, okay? There's one thing to leave off with. It's for you to understand everybody's journey is different. You can be able to learn from me. You can be able to learn from other people. Just know, no matter what, it's not going to look exactly the same. You have gone through different life experiences. You've grown up differently than me. You probably most likely look different than me. We might have some similarities when it comes to our attention span, for example, because I track a lot of people who cannot focus on one thing for too long. There are certain things that have worked with me that can work with you, but don't ever try to mimic exactly what I do. That's how I coach my clients as well too. You need to figure out what works for you and create a plan from there. That's why when you start, you never just jump into a program. I know a lot of people will just tell you, all right, here's your calorie deficit, go do it. But they don't know about you. They don't know what you've been through. They don't know even how much you're eating right now. You're probably in a calorie deficit and you've been doing that for years, and that's the reason why these deficits or these programs are not working. So let me know what helped you the most out of this video? What did you relate to? What are you going to implement? Or maybe just have more of a mental note that's allowing you to look at life in a different way when it comes to your health and fitness journey. But that's it for now. Talk to you in the next one.